Hello friends, Mr. Burrell here. We're at the beginning of our review unit. Again, this unit is kind of preparing us for everything else we're going to learn in this trimester of Math 2. So today we're going to talk about the difference between evaluating, simplifying, and solving mathematical expressions and equations. We throw these words out a lot: evaluate, simplify, and solve. What do I mean when I'm talking about each of these different words? What am I asking you to do? That's what we're going to talk about in this lesson. So by the end of this video, by the end of this lesson, this is what I hope that you're able to do. I want you to be able to evaluate, simplify, and solve mathematical expressions. Specifically, know the difference between evaluating, simplifying, and solving mathematical expressions. Okay, so riddle me this. If I gave you an equation or an expression like this, like these ones here, and I said, solve the following expressions, or get x by itself, what would you do? If I said, solve these expressions, or get x by itself, solve for x, what would you do? Well, if I take a look at this first one, for example, if I kind of combine some stuff together, I get 2x plus 3x, which is 5x, and then I have plus 1. If I want to solve for x, I can't really do that here. That doesn't really make any sense. I can't get x by itself. If I had, say, 5x plus 1 equals 11, let me use that as an example. If I had 5x plus 1 equals 11, this equal sign, when I have this equal sign, that means I can go ahead and solve. If I have this equal sign, I can go ahead and solve for x or get x by itself. In this instance, I'd subtract 1 on both sides, and I'd get 5x equals 10. I'd divide by 5 on both sides, and I'd get x equals 2. I can solve for x. I can actually manipulate this equation and get x by itself. That's what solving means. When I'm solving, I'm talking about an equation with an equal sign, where I can get x by itself on one side of the equal sign. So with all of these expressions, notice I don't have any equal signs. So I can't solve those equations because they're not an equal sign. So what do I call it when I'm trying to combine these like terms together? What can I do with these expressions? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. Again, the reason why I can't solve those expressions is there's not an equal sign. If there is an equal sign and therefore two sides of an equation, then I'm going to be able to solve or get x by itself. So, when I'm looking at mathematical expressions, what am I looking for when I'm evaluating, simplifying, or solving an expression? Well, when I'm evaluating, this word right here, evaluating, is when we are going to plug something in and get an actual number answer. So that might be, I give you some expression. Let me go back here. The expression back here, I simplified to 5x plus 1. So say I have some expression 5x plus 1, and then I give you the instruction to plug in some value of x. So like I have like 5x plus 1 when x is equal to 4. In order to evaluate this expression, I would plug 4 in for x and have like 5 times 4 plus 1, which would be 20 plus 1, which is 21. So when I'm evaluating some mathematical expression, I'm giving you some value to plug in. And then I crunch my numbers and I'll get one number answered here, 21. Simplifying, the word simplifying is when I'm going to combine like terms or reduce the expression into one more easy to work with. So on this previous slide, I had the example of 2x plus 3x plus 1. I don't have an equal sign or anything, but I have multiple sets of like x's here that I can combine together. So I call that simplifying. So I can combine 2x plus 3x, which is 5x plus 1. I can't do anything else. I'm not given anything to plug in. There's no equal sign or anything like that. So this right here would be my simplified final answer. When I'm simplifying a mathematical expression, I'm just combining like terms or reducing the expression down to as small and easy to work with as I can. And last but not least, solving. Solving, when I'm solving for x, that's when I'm going to try to get x by itself. There will always be an equal sign. That's the dead giveaway for an expression or an equation that needs to be solved. So there's going to be an equal sign where I need to try to get x by itself. So the example that I just used, 5x plus 1, if I had that set equal to 11, this little equal sign down here, that means I would be able to solve that expression because I have an equal sign, some stuff on this side, some stuff on this side. I could manipulate that a little bit, get x by itself. So that's the difference between evaluating, simplifying, and solving expressions. We throw those words out a lot, and even I sometimes in class will use the wrong terminology because sometimes I get them mixed up. But when I say evaluating, simplifying, and solving, this is what we're talking about. So, for example, some other examples here. I'm not actually going to evaluate, simplify, and solve these. I'm just going to show them to you. But the giveaway how I know an equation needs to be evaluated is where I have some expression and then I give you something to plug in. So I give you some value of x to plug back in, substitute back into that original expression. So when I say, okay, 3x minus parentheses 7 minus 4x for x equals 2, that means I'm going to plug 2 in for x into this original expression. So whenever I give you a value of x to plug into an expression, that's evaluating. Simplifying, the giveaway that I'm going to be simplifying an expression is that there is no equal sign. These problems look a lot like the homework assignment we had for 1.1 when we were talking about order of operations. Whenever I just have a series of numbers and or variables that need to be kind of combined together, broken down, simplified down, I'm not solving for x or I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just simplifying. No equal sign, just combining stuff together. Lastly, solving, the giveaway for solving is when I have an equal sign with some stuff on the left, some stuff on the right. Because if I have that equal sign, I'm going to be able to work with this equation in order to get x by itself. That is what we're doing when we're solving a mathematical equation. So what your homework is going to look like, there's going to be a page that looks something like that. This. I'm going to give you a bunch of equations. I'm going to say circle the ones that can be evaluated, circle the ones that can be simplified, circle the ones that can be solved. So on this page, for example, I want to determine which of the following can be evaluated. So looking at all of these, if I'm trying to find the ones that can be evaluated, I'm trying to find the expressions where I'm giving you some value of x to plug in. So for example, right here and right here, those both have values of x that they are telling me to plug in to my expression. So when I have this, for x equals negative 2, when x equals 10, that means that expression has to be evaluated. Here, determine which of the following can be simplified. So I'm looking for all these expressions that don't have an equal sign. So here and here, these are all expressions that do not have an equal sign. I don't actually need you to simplify these. I just want you to be able to identify that they need to be simplified. Okay. Lastly, determining which of the following can be solved. The ones that can be solved, I'm looking for the equations or the expressions that have an equal sign with stuff on both sides. So these ones right here can be solved. I could get x by itself and solve for x there. There will also be a section on your homework where you are asked to come up with your own expressions, math expressions that need to be evaluated, simplified, or solved. So you'll have a chance to practice doing that on your own as well. But that's it. This is a relatively short lesson. I hope now that you are able to identify when mathematical expressions need to be evaluated, simplified, and solved. Hopefully those things you are able to identify now. I hope that was helpful. Please reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever, if there's anything you don't quite understand. And I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did.